This is the Reptile Show Reporter live scheduled show. Hit the music. All right, no one can see us dancing because our mic's off, turned off when that part is on. But welcome, adventurers. It's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, 7 p.m. Eastern regular time, which I'm under. It's my protest. I'm going to keep protesting until we switch back, and then maybe I'll protest the opposite, so that way I look fickle and what have you. Bill, how are you?
Your secret is you're always angry.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's not true because, you can't be both thankful and angry. And I'm thankful that I'm able to use my arm and leg again. And so I'm not always angry. I just have a protest that I have to talk about all the time, just to keep people on their toes so they don't think I'm always thankful. So,
Well,
anyways,
I am here using
US Arc. Yes.
my US
Awesome.
Arc support,
Mhm.
my Chameleon Academy mug. I love this,
Okay.
this logo, but here, you know what? This isn't the Chameleon Academy, so just to be.
I know, but the Community Academy supports the Reptile Show Reporter.
That is
So
true.
there you go. And so did the Reptile Show Reporter support the Chameleon Academy.
That's right. That's right. One big happy family.
Content creator. And what is that one that the podcast hasn't been out in a long time? The Reptile Entrepreneur or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I know all of them have been on a hiatus for a month, but they're coming back next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you set me up to keep working on different things to create my launch so that I was off your tail on those, but I'm back and what have you. So
there is a dire need on my side for a haircut. So
okay.
That is going to happen soon.
That won't last a month. I got my hair cut today, Bill. You're behind the times.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm a fast follower.
Okay. All right. There we go. Well, today's show is supposed to be about the promoter of the Glass City Exotics Expo, but he got called into work and he doesn't know if he'll be able to make the show. So we're going to start talking about the show itself without him. And then we're going to tail off into other topics, maybe about other shows we've been to or the differences between Ohio shows and California shows or other shows. So we'll let that kind of go.
Shows are like when you're like in the boondocks, in the weeds, like you are. I'm in the city, the metropolitan area. So I'll tell you how the big time is done, and you can tell me how you do things back in the backwoods.
In reality, in America, in the normal part, the flyover zones that people talk about that go from either coast. Yes, exactly.
That's right.
All right. So, Bill, any announcements other than you're not doing any work and you're not up to date on anything?
I'm working hard to get up to date. I finally got myself on track. So,
all right. So, I mean, let me ask. You started a new podcast, the Panther Chameleon podcast, but you scratched it and then you changed it and you updated it. Have you scratched it another time? Is it going to come?
I have scratched it. On Tuesday, you're going to be seeing the new episodes, and it will now go on Clockwork. And the problem is that I switched directions 4 times as to what I wanted to accomplish with that podcast, who I was serving with that podcast. And so I kept switching things up. And of course, that means that when you're a content creator, you're just treading water. You're paddling furiously, burning a lot of calories, but getting nowhere. So that is what my month of May looked like.
So we're supposed to
so what does it mean for me, Bill?
To worry about you? Are we supposed to send just salutations or whatever?
Be patient with me. I'm still here. I'm still making stuff.
I don't know. Let's check the chat here.
I'm gaining experience.
Hey, True Turtle Tom. What the heck is Bill talking about? I don't know.
Bill is talking about inspired things. He's probably talking about my throwing shade at the non-coastal states.
Yeah. So Tom, do you want me to send you a link and let you on this podcast or this
Uh-oh.
this live so we can argue it out and have some more people? Just
Take
let
you
me
both
know.
on.
I'll send you the link anyways. I'll see if I can get to that link and see where I put it, where I send it to other people. I'll link it to you. Actually, I could just do it here. I could
All right,
add
Turtle Tom, step up to the plate. Come on.
the copy, and then I'll put this down, and I'll go to the
I just need to watch this
book,
evening.
and I'm just burning time here. Let's see, it's not working too fast, but
Well, he says he's just got to watch, so don't.
all
You don't.
right. I'm sending it to him anyway, just in case he gets a minute, so that he can join us if he gets upset about something. Let's see.
But it's going to be me who's upsetting him. So
Yeah, so there you go. It's there. It's in your Facebook Messenger, Tom, just in case.
Oh, great. He said
Just
send
so
it.
you know. All right, so
I'm going to be double
all right,
teamed.
so we can invite up to 10 guests. So if I have to invite 10 people from Ohio, I will. So
That would be like the whole show, huh?
all right. No, it might be. So anyways, so any other announcements about things you're not working on?
I'm just having fun with
Oh wow, he's here.
Oh great. Oh great.
There we go.
Oh
Tom.
hey, two turtle Tom.
I gotta
you shall receive.
I gotta defend our our metro area of like 3 million people.
Oh yeah, that's about the population of my university here.
Yeah. And that's why they're so bad out there.
Wow, man, he comes in both barrels blaring. I was being soft, but wow. That's awesome, Tom.
We went out to Disneyland last December, and that was my first time spending any time in California. And you know what I noticed the most and was impressed the most was how slow people and nice people drive out there. It was just really, really interesting. In the East Coast, everybody drives like a crazy person.
Oh, yeah. I will say that because I did think that we drove horribly over here and horribly rude. And then I was sent to the East Coast for a work trip and I had to rent a car. And I was floored that there were levels below Los Angeles driving.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I did not drive in it. We were in a car, and then I was with my buddy Will Espenshade. But I got to drive probably maybe 50, 100 miles, something like that. And we watched out our hotel room across from Disneyland at the 405. And I mean, I didn't see anybody cutting anybody off. I didn't hear horns honking. It was just crazy. So,
traffic at all is what you're saying?
there was traffic, but everybody knows. And what Will told me, if everybody knows if there's a huge accident, nobody's going anywhere. So they just are a little bit more friendly there. So,
yeah,
I was impressed.
We are well experienced with traffic and sitting on the freeway and twiddling our thumbs and listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
They we accept it, but there aren't any. So
I gotta say, when I started becoming a podcast listener, I did not mind traffic. It's like once I started that, it was like, oh, good, I have an excuse to get through this entire episode. And so it was a very interesting change when podcasts started coming around.
Podcasts are great. Yeah. I listened to one called the Chameleon Academy on my 2 hours. I have a 2-hour commute, 1 hour commute, but it took me like 7-8 months, I think, to listen to all of them.
Yeah, I built up a bit of a library.
So it was great.
But unfortunately, there are no new ones, so there's nothing left for you to do anymore.
Come on, May was a really tough month.
Yeah.
All right, hey, let's say hi. Steph Payne is here. Should I send her a link? Get her on. Just let me know, Steph. I can send you a link too. We're just gonna pile on here, but Steph is not not our Ohio team, so I don't know if I want to link her in or not. So we'll have to figure out what her.
Yeah, it's I had to just jump in and defend the land, as we call it.
Yes.
You know,
The land, right.
We do know that we're letting LeBron live in your state and in that southern part of the state for a little bit, but know that he keeps a house here still. It's quite big, and
all right, yeah,
he was born here, so I was born in Akron, and so was he.
Yeah.
So it's great.
So what happened, Tom?
He moved to California as soon as he could.
I don't know. But I texted Sean a little bit ago. I just found a Bruchesia on Craigslist.
What?
In my city, like in my little burg of 12,000 people. And I'm that many.
What
and
species?
Do you know? Who knows?
Oh, didn't say it. Just a Bruchesia.
Can I share my screen? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Let's find the ad. And
plus sign.
Maybe you can identify it.
Yes. Okay.
Just a second. Give me a sec.
Gives you a picture, but not a species.
They just called it a pygmy chameleon.
Pygmy chameleons are generally mainland Africa. It's a stump-tailed chameleon.
Well, that's
if we're going to be talking common names.
I assume it's a Bruchesia. It looks like all the Bruchesias.
Yeah, there are no mainland pygmy chameleons, Rapelian or Rampolian or any of those guys being exported. So it's most likely a Bruchesia.
I just realized I have my search radius set to 250 miles. That's why I couldn't find it. Just give me a little second. So, Bill, do you keep any?
I do. I keep Superciliaris.
Okay. What are they like as pets?
Well, they sit around and do nothing. And for people wondering what we're talking about, the Bruchesia are the stump-tailed chameleons, and they're the ones that live lower. Most of the species live lower, and they look like dead leaves. They have horns and ornamentation, but they're all brown, and they change colors within dead leaf colors and sometimes some mossy colors, and a very fascinating genus. And they are. They live. They're going to be living in bushes and branches above the ground. Most of them are not actually ground dwellers, even though you can see them on the ground. But they like to live in the branches above, and they just hang out and they do chameleon stuff. They just do it on a smaller scale, and those are some of the smallest lizards in the Bruchesia micra. It was the adult will literally perch on your fingertip. It's amazing. And
that's crazy. Can you see my screen now?
I think Sean.
There it is. I can bring it up here. Let me bring it up. There we are. There it is.
Theli. Let's see. Yeah, I think we've got a Theli there. Yeah.
Enclosure and everything, asking $120.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, how about that? Is that still Theli?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything in particular to know about that species?
I think Theli is actually the one that likes to go higher up than the others. I'd have to check. But you keep them.
You probably just check the Community Academy website. I'm sure it's on there.
I don't have a whole lot of Bruchesia there.
Well, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I have some podcast episodes where we talk about it.
Well, it's out there.
So you don't have 200 species examples on the website yet, Bill? What are you doing? You're taking the whole month off. You're not keeping your website up to date. I mean, it's you're talking bad about Ohio and and
I was harassed
Central United
during the month of
States
June
and the
for a
Midwest and
hair guide on Kaluma brevicorn. That's what I've been working on, and it
Okay.
came out darn good.
Okay, well, you were
There's only
bothering me
200
about
species
that.
of chameleons.
So
I'm getting
you
through
were,
them one at a
you
time.
were bothering me about that particular stuff, looking
Well,
for
I put you
pictures.
on the defensive, and you can't be on the offensive.
No, you can't. I can be offensive at any time. And thankful. I'm thankful that I'm able to talk about this stuff and stay on the show and all the people who've joined us. Um, and I'm thankful about the great time I had at the Toledo Expo that I went to, which
Oh,
was the Glass City Expo. And I don't have the
can I
person.
interrupt? I
Yes.
don't want to leave that too loud. So Two Turtle Tom. Oh, that's not working. Let's see if I can. This up here. I'm actually going to try to do this without breaking anything. So that up behind me, right up there, that would be a perfect type cage. Although a taller cage would actually be good too.
Yeah, they like to climb high, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. That's neat.
Yeah, and one of the for the commonly available species of Brookesia, many people don't realize that they actually would like branches like a ficus tree. So anyway,
Thanks, Bill.
All right, so we digressed. Let's get back to reptile shows. What the heck? So I went to the Glass City the Exotic Expo this weekend. It's the first time I've been there. It's a smaller show. There was probably 20 vendors or less. There was bigger tables at each of the shows. It's only been going on for 2 years, and the whole reason they did it is because every show in Northwest Ohio is on Saturday, and this show is on Sunday because a lot of people can't get to a Saturday show. So they were hoping to get a different audience, different people, and they seem to be doing very well. I was excited because I was able to go talk to the show promoter the first time I was at the show. We had a great conversation. I talked to him yesterday or the day before about coming on the show and what it would be like, and everything was all set, but he got called into work. Unfortunately, that's not doesn't make him enough money. I would assume to be a job. He's also got a pet store himself, but
all right, I would like to take a moment right now, and I'd like everybody to realize what an inconvenience this whole work job thing is and how it gets in the way of reptiles. And I think all of us, everyone here, needs to take a good hard look at ourselves and say, do we really want to be doing that work? Maybe we should just be spending all of our time with reptiles.
Okay, so
I tell my wife the same thing, Bill.
Yeah. So yeah,
but wait a minute.
You're welcome, Sean.
You're saying I should stop healing the sick and helping the injured to take care of reptiles?
There will be sick always.
Is that what
They're never going away.
Is that what we should do? I should just ignore all the people,
Sean,
pounding at the door looking to get help, and then I don't have any money to go buy reptiles. What the
so
heck?
now that's a problem, and yes, you're going to have to solve that problem.
Okay. All right. I guess I keep playing the lottery. Keep listening to these podcasts to tell me how to win the lottery and mind bend the world so that the lottery does it my way, so that I get my numbers. Of course, then it could be just.
So we've got a plan.
It'll just be like what was Bruce Almighty when he let everyone win the lottery and they all just got $1 because he answered all the prayers and said yes to him. Let's all win the lottery, and they all won $1. So that's what it'll be. That's the time I'll play and win. But nonetheless, okay. All right. So anyone want to know any more about the Toledo Expos or what's going on?
So it's got to, how do you survive as a show with 20 vendors, right? I mean, you charge what? $30, $50, and that's what I can't do math in my head, but 50 times 20.
But the show is small.
The
venue is small. Maybe they get the venue for free. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, 50 times 20 is $1,000 bucks.
Mhm.
And yeah. So what's a place like that costs to rent for a day? I don't know. Sundays are probably not huge
Mhm.
demand days. What kind of facility was it at?
I don't remember. It says it right on the show invite. So let me go. I'll look through my pictures here to
Like
see what it was.
VFW, I'm guessing that kind of
Yeah,
venue.
it's
How
what
often
was
is
it?
this show done?
Once a week, once a month, once a
Once
week.
a
All right.
week. Yeah. That'd be. And
So
there's at least one other show in Toledo. And
there's 4 shows in Toledo.
yeah.
There was a show Saturday in Toledo I didn't go to because I didn't go to all of them, but there was one then. I'm still trying to find this flyer. Why did
Yeah,
you know what? I
see,
need to
this
look at
is
a
an
different album.
interesting dynamic that's
Yeah.
different is that you guys have shows every month. We on the West Coast, we are doing 2, maybe 3 shows a year.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, we got a lot of different shows, but if we're talking about the big main show, we have one big main show. It used to be 2 times a year, and now we've actually got it 3 times a year. And so for us, going to a show is, dress in our finest, and it's a date, it's a special event. We look forward to. Okay, we don't dress.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing Bill walking in a top hat and tails
Yeah.
with his cane.
But
You
the
know,
thing
the
is,
little end with the chameleon head on the end of the cane. Well, and maybe it needs to be
Fred
a snake. Maybe
Astaire.
it needs to be a green tree python head. And he walking with that, as he does his dance
I
number.
should.
As his wife and him stroll in, her all in her finest, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, but we look forward to these things. We make plans. We ask our friends, "Are you going to go?" And it's a meetup. It's sometimes that's the only time we see people, and so it becomes our town square, and it's a huge event. So it's a foreign concept to say, "Oh, okay, it's going to be a monthly thing." I mean, if it's a monthly thing, you can actually say, okay, I'm gonna get all my feeders there, and I'm going to reliably go there and get my feeders every
Yeah.
month, and that's my feeder thing.
Mhm. Sure.
And
Yeah.
that's what we do.
That's what I did. I got on my
Okay.
feeders at the Toledo show.
Yeah. And it we don't have that many reptile shops now that we have all of these shows. I mean, how can you compete with a monthly show?
Yeah.
You're a reptile shop, and you can't. So there's a few people trying to do it, but when I get jealous when I see all of these YouTube videos of these amazing reptile shops in Florida and California, Chicago. We just don't have those anymore because we have these monthly shows.
Okay.
And in fact, when I go to the local shop that's trying to make it selling reptiles, and I will mention the show, they start bad mouthing it and saying, you're going to get bad animals there and they're going to die. And that's where we used to buy our animals. So there's real competition there.
Okay. All right.
So just so everyone's aware, I did find it. It is the American Legion Post 587 where it's at. So it's a very small venue. I mean, it was full. I mean, all the 20 vendors. It was around the outside and a square around the middle. So that's
Really?
all it was.
All right.
But you know what? I spent an entire 2 hours there talking to everybody. I met almost every vendor. I talked to them at length. I learned about them, their history, where they came from, where they were from, all about the reptiles that they had. I learned that one vendor didn't bring feeder mice because the other vendor was bringing them, and out of respect, it's a different kind of atmosphere than even the Medina show, where the guy next to you is selling crested geckos, and there's 2 guys next to you selling crested geckos. Nobody cares, and everybody wants to be there. So it's just a different atmosphere, a different way to doing things. It's like a family over there. They all know each other. They all get along. That's how they started the show. So it's a different perspective, a different way to do the reptile show.
On on our super shows, if you want to talk to the vendors, Sunday afternoon is the time to do that. Saturday is just a zoo, so to speak. And I mean, there's just crowds of people, and everybody's conducting business. There is no time to sit and shoot the breeze. So that's Saturday. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, our shows are just a day.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have 2-day shows.
6 hours. That's it. Tops. But you know what? Let's talk about this. It doesn't expose the animals for a longer period of time. Yeah. You don't leave them overnight there. They don't have to be fed and watered at night and hoping that they make it. There's no stress. I mean, let's say a tortoise. We talked about when we were talking on. Tom did a podcast with me last night. It'll be out sometime soon. But we were talking about different things, and tortoises can tolerate all kinds of stuff. But chameleons, put a chameleon in a box for a couple days, it'll be okay. But is it stressful? Is it more? I don't know.
Yeah, well, after a couple of days, it will need rehabilitation. It will bounce back, but it will need rehabilitation.
Assuming that it's captive bred and born and raised and what have you. So, that's another whole item of different things and about people and the way things are done is, are they captive raised, captive born, what have you?
The other thing, Bill, is that we're not attracting people from around the country.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that runs our local show, the Medina show, that's the big show.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped at his table a couple months ago and I looked down and he had this lizard, a native lizard, to the west, and it was just a teeny tiny baby. I looked down there, I'm like, how did you get that? And he looks at me, he's like, well, I was out at the Anaheim Super Show and it ran across the floor. So the promoter of our show is going to California.
Wow.
Driving there for these destination type shows.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to say,
you can just see me in Tinley. So, if you go and I can hook you up with the hotel room. I talked about you before about that. I got a second one. It's a big show. It's a multi-day show.
We'll talk.
There's multiple days there at the show. I'm going to go at the show. I got pet-friendly ones so I can bring my dogs and let them enjoy the hotel room and not have to have someone sit the dogs. It's terrible. I've gotten so pet-friendly that it's crazy. This pandemic did a number on everybody.
Yeah. We got bearded dragons during the pandemic, and they've been great pets.
Yeah, I will say, as far as being a destination show, that it is worth it. It is worth the hype. It is like the shows on the West Coast, the super shows. They are huge, and you see so much there. It is a fun time, and when you start talking with the people and making friends there, it becomes a real event. It's not just dropping by and picking up your.
How many vendors are we talking about, Bill? Roughly.
Oh, I don't know. I'd say 100, hundreds. I really don't know.
And there's probably nobody that bought a bunch of reptiles at wholesale from Underground Reptiles and just showed up and had a table, I'm guessing.
There are.
Okay.
There are. Yeah, there are all types, from the large. We have Triple L Reptile, Josh's Frogs, the big names, all the way down to people who are who split a booth fee, and so there's 3 breeders sitting there, and then you have the people that just place an order for whatever is in stock, and those are the ones that you look at, you say, we shouldn't have them at the show. It's they buy 30 adult veiled chameleons, and they stuff them into a screen cage with one stick up the middle. It's like, this is just bad. So we still get those people, and the people that bring in a whole shipment of wild caught and they put them all in deli cups. It's just it's a bad look.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I mean, we definitely have a lot of that, but what I do want, I want Josh's Frogs to come down. I mean, we're only 3 hours away from Josh's, or maybe 3.5, but they're not dedicating their time to go to that show every month. They just can't, right? They're going to other shows.
Sales there, though. I mean, the number of people who know Josh's Frogs and buy from them.
Yeah.
And I'm planning, I understand that they have Saturday or Sunday tours. I'm planning to go up there. It's only a couple hours away. Maybe I can talk them into going to a show. So,
yeah.
But you know what? Medina's show doesn't have any room. There's really never any room. So people complain about it. People had trouble getting in. So I don't know. Maybe packed. I mean, I'm sure if Josh Frog said, "Hey, we'd like to come to your show," I think they'd probably find a spot.
Hopefully,
even if the promoter just gave them their spot. So, yeah. So 100 vendors, Bill. I think maybe more than that, right? Wouldn't you say? Or
yeah, let me find out. I'm a horrible judge. I mean, there's just rows and rows and aisles of. Anybody know how many vendors? Oh no! Okay.
So those who joined in progress, this is Two Turtle Tom. It's not the event. He's not the guy from the Toledo show. And Bill Strand and I are talking to him about shows. And here's here's Stephanie.
Hi.
There she
what
is.
The heck?
Wow.
How are you?
You made it. So hey.
Yeah, I figured
our biggest fans are on the show tonight. So this should been called our biggest fan shows. Rather than the Toledo show. But where are you located, Steph?
I'm in by the Jersey Shore, Ocean Grove, New Jersey. So
okay, so you're like the person who gave Tom his nickname, the Jersey people.
Yep. Yeah, Canadian fires coming down here. It's like brown out. It's really crazy. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of getting dark now, but I don't know if you guys seen the news, but like Canada fires are like the winds coming down and everything is all smoky and foggy. Really crazy. But,
Bill doesn't understand that because all of California is just under a cloud. So
yeah, well, when we get those fires, we get wildfires a lot, and so I know
wildfires, mudslides, earthquakes. All we get is snow and it melts, Bill. You don't even have to shovel it if you don't want to. You just drive, 4-wheel drive through it and you wait till it melts.
Yeah, it looks like the Reptile Super Show is about 150 to 200 vendors. That's my very quick.
And that's a lot of vendors. And is it the Anaheim show that's in this like really long, narrow building? It's kind of a lot of gray. Is that it? I don't know.
We've been into a number of places. The Anaheim show is in the Anaheim Convention Center, and so it's a large, it's a huge area. The Los Angeles shows in the Pomona Fairplex, and it's like a hangar for huge planes.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah, and it's a big, long, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, double-sided, and I mean, you could easily spend all day in there. If you decide to just stop by every booth and talk to people, you will be there all day and maybe come back the next day so you could finish up.
So at that show, I was just looking on the internet, and I think I found a picture of Bill about ready to go into that show. So, Sean, if you don't mind me sharing,
sure,
I'm going to share my screen.
Bill,
is that you, Bill?
Let me see. Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
wow, you did that
Bill,
quick.
Your hair wasn't cut then either.
This is what happens when you throw shade on Ohio.
Wow, man. Two Turtle, you got the stuff going on there.
That's
You
pretty
got
good.
there.
Okay,
You
a worthy
played on
opponent.
Ohio, and Tom, he defends the
I
wildlife, the shows,
defend the land.
His lifestyle. He defends all the trees and plants, and it's hard
For the
to
trees.
Bill to
Yeah,
talk about it.
Stephanie, where are you from? What?
Ocean Grove, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, so what kind of shows do you have in that area?
Seriously, I have never been to a reptile show.
Oh, no.
They don't have them around here. And if they do, it's like a really far drive. I guess you guys take that drive, but Jersey traffic is, it would take like 5 hours.
Probably a Philadelphia show maybe by you. How far is Philadelphia?
Probably 45 minutes to an hour. So maybe there,
There should be shows in Philadelphia. I know there's some in Pittsburgh. Which is another side of the state. So
I'm finding a Repticon at the New Jersey Convention and Expo Center.
Okay.
It says the next show is TBA.
Yes.
TBA, that's never good. When they don't, that's like, hey, we're gonna get married. It's TBA.
Yeah. But no, it looks like it was actually in January. So January 6th to 8th, 2003. Edison, New Jersey. Where's that?
Okay, yeah, that's probably like 45 minutes north of me.
In the New York metro area, kind of. Or?
Yeah, it's really close to New York City.
You'd be better off going to Philadelphia to find a show. But
I'm basically like right in the middle of Philly, New York City. So
there you go.
And you're actually pretty close to my friend who gave me my name. He is the mayor of Seabright.
Okay. Yep. Seabright's probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. It's a good town.
I want to go there. I mean, he loves it there. He loves Seabright. He came out to Ohio, Miami University. Yes, that's in Ohio, Bill. And he just
one of the top-notch universities, public universities in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's considered second level to the to the Harvard and Yale's.
It's
not an Ivy school. It's whatever's under Ivy.
Yeah, public Ivy. It was a university before Florida was a state. Anyways, he came out to Miami, and he just raved about the Jersey Shore. He told us about going to the beach in the summer and fishing, and yeah, he lives right there.
Nice. Yeah, you'll have to ask him about Asbury Park.
Okay, I will.
That's right next to me, and it's like blown up. Like it's such an awesome
wow,
city.
Yes. You hear about that all the time about venues, bands playing Asbury Park and things like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really turned for the past 15 years. They really it was really famous back in the early 1900s. Then it just went, bad, and they really turned it around.
Cool.
So
I'm looking at
pictures. You mean the late 1900s or the early 1900s?
Oh, did I say late?
You said that in the 1900s, but that was was it 24 years ago? Or are we talking 120 years ago?
Early 1900s, and then by the 1960s, 70s, it really went downhill till about early 2000s, and then they totally redid it. Very family friendly now. The beach is there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Very pretty. A lot of my pictures, I don't know if you've seen my photography on Facebook. That's in Asbury usually. So, yeah.
Do you have a page, Steph, for your photography, or just your personal?
Yeah, I do actually. It's kikipanyaphotography.com. It's just hard to spell.
Cool.
Yeah, so I have that. I went to school for photography. So
awesome.
But then I did something else. I'm a pet sitter now. So I do both. I do that on the weekends and then pet sitting during the week, every day. But and do photography on the side. So
very cool.
A lot of fun. Yeah. Should I keep talking?
That's when the host steps in.
Steph? Where are you from?
crickets going on.
What?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Doing photography. It's just I love taking pictures of chameleons and reptiles and especially animals. Especially dogs, cats, horses. So, yep.
Dogs, cats, horses. That doesn't seem to go. Dogs, cats, horses, elephants, tigers. The normal pets.
Yeah. No, I owned horses, through all my life, and know how to ride and all that kind of stuff. English jumpers.
So do you have them at home, or do you have them on somewhere where they're housed?
Yeah, at a barn. Yeah, I board them.
You board them yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I don't own one now, but I did throughout my whole life.
you think about New Jersey, you think about small houses and no land, but
oh my,
you don't.
yeah.
But that's like New York. New York is a city, but also a state full of small towns that nobody even knows about.
Oh my gosh, I just stopped for gas in one of those towns, and I was like, "Oh my God, where am I?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a small house, and then you get like, your taxes are like $10,000.
Are they as bad as New York?
I think we're one of the highest taxes in the country. We're close to California.
Bill, we're slamming on California. I knew I'd get a California slam out of her. That's why I brought her on. Secretly I told her to slam Cali, but
hey, I've never known anything else. This is my life. It's kind of like I'm a chameleon guy, and I don't know how crazy I am until I talk to other people and they say, "You chameleon people are crazy." I feed my snake once every month.
every couple weeks, Bill. I guess if it's a boa, you could feed it less often. But yeah, okay.
How is that emerald tree boa, right?
Yes, I doing fine and eats sporadically, and
nice.
It's like it'll she'll get into that S coil and say, "Okay, I'm ready to hunt," and I say, "Okay, I'm going to feed you." Nope, won't do it. "Oh, I'll feed you next week." Nope, won't do it. But when she's ready to go, I mean, bam. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Cool. Yeah, my husband would not let me get a snake ever. I would love the rainbow tree boa.
Oh yeah, the rainbow boas.
Yeah, they're a little harder to keep because you got to keep them moist. But with the chameleon room, you'd probably be able to keep them.
You're a chameleon person. Once you're a chameleon person, there aren't a whole lot of other things that are harder.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like, I've been a chameleon, I've been insulated as a chameleon person, and don't realize how much work I actually do, because it's like a fish in water. I don't know what water is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a lot of terrariums and stuff, so like I have 250 houseplants.
Nice.
So those are my babies and my
now
chameleon.
You're talking Tom's language.
Yeah, plants.
Nice.
Because they don't move, they don't walk, they don't get about.
Oh wow!
Unlike my Tegu, who got lost yesterday, but we won't talk about that.
Oh boy!
Wow!
Well, my Tegu jumped out of the container. I put a board over the container, the side of the container, because they were trying to jump out, and I thought that, like, with the tortoise, you put a board there, and they can't climb out. Well, Tegus apparently aren't like that. They run up to something and jump on it. And they jumped on the board and got on the board, took off. I got it on video. He spent like 5 minutes walking back and forth across the board, and then disappeared. He got out. He was in a room that's locked and contained, and he was all over the room. He's in a quarantine room, which is what I call my dining room right now. But but he got out. He walked around. We let him spend the night out because we couldn't find him in the room. Even though there was a limited number of places he was at, but actually a she. I got 3 she's. So, she was around this today. I found her basking in the sunlight through the window, and I spent the time kind of figuring it out. I watched the video to see how she got out, so I removed that board, and so far they've been in there ever since. So, But
Wow.
unfortunately, I made a mistake. I was trying to get her, and I'm target training them, which means you put a color or target in front of them before you feed them only. And I was target training with red because red is a color that's not usually too bright, not usually used for other things. And a bunch of channels use red or orange as a target training. So I was using red as my target trainer. But when I got back from going on a bike ride and I forgot I was wearing red biking shorts. So I'm sitting there trying to catch her and she's like jumping on me, trying to eat me. And like, not really that aggressive, but so I'm just like, why is she coming? What's going on? I look down, I'm like, I'm wearing red pants. I'm like, oh, this is what I get for target training to red, I guess. But I have to get rid of the red pants shorts. So I won't be doing that anymore. But I got rid of the shorts. I put on the another pair of pants and I went in there and she was fine. She was like, "Hey, how you doing? Come put me back in the cage." But it's interesting. So
Yeah.
take these are an experience.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you, small show people.
Mhm.
Sean, it sounds like you've got a show every weekend. I went to the Medina show. Oh, I went to the Glass City.
There are weekends I have to choose.
Yeah, and there aren't many people, if any, except the vendors that are going to those multiple shows.
But
You don't see the same people buying at those shows, right? I mean, nobody goes from Cleveland over to Toledo.
Hey, wait a minute. That makes me a nobody, but okay.
Nobody that's like your average reptile buyer.
Mm-hmm. No, sure. Because they have all the same stuff. So I'm just going for the experience,
Exactly.
And talk to the vendors and see who's doing it,
So but it's not like we have a show every week, right?
Right.
We have to drive hours to get to those other shows.
Okay.
Sorry for
Toledo's 90 minutes. The Northeast Ohio show is another hour away. Medina show is actually 30 minutes away from me, but it used to be down around the corner at the old VFW, or no, was it? It's a local union place that it was at, but
we do have a show every month, probably within an hour of every Ohioan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It's just interesting that has. I guess if you have small shows, then that breeds just doing it more often because it's easier to put together.
Yeah, they're local people for the most part. There's a guy that comes from New York. We won't talk too much about him, but it's mom and pop places.
Okay.
It's not big companies that are vending these places.
All right. They're just an interesting, different dynamic.
Yeah. We're happy to host you here, Bill, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's not much to do, but there are reptile shows. And
wait a minute. There's a ton of things to do. No. There's like the Holden Arboretum
I'm wearing my shirt.
Yes. And the flower show downtown. What's that called again, Tom?
Oh, the botanical garden?
Oh yeah, the botanical gardens. There's a botanical gardens downtown, and there's the West Side Market where I was at today earlier. That's a cool place to go. Most people don't have those kind of options. There's all kinds of museums. There's Amish country. There's tons of stuff to do in Ohio. And the cost of housing. The cost of housing is tremendously less than everywhere else in the world. I mean, seriously. Other than buying huts. So
I mean, it would be very interesting to host Bill here. So anytime you want to come, Bill, we'll take you to a couple reptile shows. And
all right.
I had a friend come from Cali, who was urgent care related friend that came here to give a lecture, and I drove him around. And you know what he said to me? I can't believe how many trees you guys have. That was his comment. He's like overwhelmed by how many trees we had, and that was just the west side of Cleveland. And so, and I thought, we come from California, you don't have any trees.
Yeah, what they have the palm trees everywhere, and they're just like poking out all over town, like 100 feet apart, just like palm tree.
We got a lot of light posts.
Drive.
Yeah, a lot of buildings. A lot of what we call impervious surface. in the environmental science world.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And that's okay.
All right.
I loved my time there. Disneyland was great. It was fantastic. I would love to come out to one of the super shows and see it in person.
Yeah. It would be an event. It would be worth it. You would enjoy it. And yeah,
Sean's got to
people
get out
come
there
from
for sure.
all over the country.
Yeah, they even come from Ohio and drive there. So I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what? The drive there is awesome. I drove to Vegas 2 years in a row
Yeah.
for my conferences.
Oh,
it is beautiful. You can't imagine if you've never done it, you can't imagine the beauty you see across the country.
I love driving, but with a bunch of animals, a cross country trip. That's hard. I mean, how do you do that?
If you're not talking about my kids, yeah, sure.
Yeah, iPads.
No, they were actually great to drive across country.
Yeah.
Of course, they're older now; they're between 16 and 25. So,
so Sean and I were talking yesterday about Sean possibly coming out to the Mesa, Arizona /Phoenix reptile show, which is November, and I think that's a smaller version of your shows in California. It's twice a year. It's packed. It draws vendors from all around the country. There's plenty of parking. And yeah, it was a really nice show.
Yeah, I went to that show.
Did you?
I vended at that show once.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So Sean, that would be worth it if you want to come out to the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation meeting.
I'm game. I got something for July, August, September, October. I don't have anything set up for November yet, so nothing big. So I guess that's what I have to do.
Yeah, you can do a turtle conference and a reptile show, and it's really good. It's crowded though. That's the only problem.
It won't be like last Sunday, but it'll be an adventure. So that's all I care about.
Yeah.
So I'll have to figure out what to do along the way as I drive out there, because I'll probably drive. But
I don't know. Wall Drug. That's too far north. You ever heard of that? It's in South Dakota. It's where there's not much in South Dakota, so if you leave from Ohio to go out west, everybody stops at this place called Wall Drug.
Did we just lose? I lost my picture there for a second. Did you guys fall out? I don't know.
Wall what?
I've been here.
Okay, I don't know. I just lost. It's like the electricity went out, but I'm plugged in, so I don't know. And I'm on a battery. I'm on a laptop. Anyways. All right, we're at 55 minutes already, so I'm going to call this a wrap. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for showing up when we weren't able to get a guest on because the guest got called out. Any final thoughts, Steph? We'll start with you.
Yeah. Definitely want to go to a show one of these days. It would be nice. And like Two Turtle Tom said, it's always to be announced that I see when I check them out. So hopefully I'll get to one.
Maybe they're just trying to keep Steph out. They're just not announcing it. And they said it's quietly.
I buy too much.
All right, Tom, any final thoughts?
Bill, thanks for taking our crap that were thrown at you. We love you. And we were just talking about you yesterday when I was on Sean's podcast. You and the Chameleon Academy as this model for building a reptile community and fostering that community. So I think anybody can listen to your podcast, even if they don't care anything about chameleons, and just learn how to build a community. So thank you for all that work.
Very welcome, and thank you for saying that. And but I'm a little bit offended that you apologized for throwing crap at. I thought I was throwing crap at you.
Well, we
do not notice.
This is like my friend.
It's
I needed to be better at this. If you guys are apologizing to me,
yeah,
we're just gonna beat a Midwesterner on turning the tables and throwing crap, my friend.
We're too nice. We're too nice.
Oh man.
All right, so Bill, I'm going to give you final thoughts before I say mine. So what's up?
Final thoughts are this is a good conversation about reptile shows. It's fun hearing about different people's experiences. And as for me, yeah, you guys will be getting episodes soon.
All right.
Yay!
All right. I'd just like to say thanks everyone for being here and all the people who are watching this or watch us in the future. We'll be back again next week. I'll probably try to get the guy on that was supposed to be on this week. If not, I'm sure we'll have something. Have a good week, and we'll see you later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Adios.